Hi everyone, it's Chrissie. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a really fun and exciting video. So I do just want to say a huge thank you to the EA Creator Network for making this video possible. I'm not paid by them, I'm not sponsored to make this video. They just gave me access to this pack quite a bit earlier than normal, so it is a little bit different from normal early access because this version of the game only has the base game and the new pack in it. So you will also see my EA Creator ID floating around the screen as well throughout all of these videos. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. I'm not paid to make these videos. I simply got sent the pack a little bit early. So with all of that said, let's jump on into the video. Okay, so here we are. We're back in the Riders Glen area of Chestnut Ridge. This is actually where I built that really big family ranch video that you guys will have already seen, or not video, build that you guys will have already seen. But today we're actually on a little bit of a smaller lot. This is a 30 by 20 lot. It's called the Grapevine Terrace. And I decided that I wanted to build something a little bit different. So we're actually building a community lot today. And I do have this set up as a bar in the game, and also obviously in the version that will be up on the gallery. But it can also function as a lounge. Either way, you know, you have everything that your Sims would need for either lot type. But basically, the moment that I saw that we were going to be getting nectar making back in the game, I knew immediately that I wanted to build a lot like this. So in The Sims 3, if you guys didn't know, we had nectar making in The Sims 3 originally. We had it from the World Adventures pack, and basically it was like kind of tied to France, so kind of like the Sim version of France. And you had this really big winery building where your Sims could go, they could make nectar. There were a bunch of like grapes all around it, and you know, it's kind of where your Sims would have gone to like taste nectar. They could buy it there, they could actually make it there as well. And it was a really big like selling point, I guess you could say, for the France like world that came with that pack out of like the 3 vacation worlds that we got. So basically I knew that I wanted to build something like this when I saw that nectar making was coming back. So we're actually building a winery and wedding venue is what I think I'm going to call it. I think I called it like Chestnut Winery and Wedding Venue or something like that. And Chestnut because obviously Chestnut Ridge. I suck at coming up with names. So that is about as far as my creative naming abilities go, if I'm being honest. But yeah, so this is literally a winery and wedding venue. So I wanted it to obviously serve a purpose. So it is obviously, you know, set up as a bar. Your Sims can come here, they can, you know, get drinks, hang out, all of that stuff. I do have all of the stuff set up for a lounge as well, like I said. But the main selling point of this build for me was having it be set up as a nectar making space, basically a space where your Sims could come, they could practice their nectar making, they could even harvest some produce and stuff like that. So in the back you will notice that I have those couple of different like elevations of platforms, and on the floor, like on the ground level, I will actually be putting a couple of like fruit bushes. So I'll have like a really long row of grapes, and then I also have a couple of blackberries and strawberries as well. So your Sims can come here, they can harvest some fruit, they can make some nectar. There's plenty of space for that. And then also there's quite a few different spaces where your Sims could get a drink. So I have quite a few different like almost separate areas, I guess you could say, where I have bars set up. So, you know, you could hire a couple of different bartenders and they could come here and you could have all of it staffed, all of that stuff. But yeah, that was kind of my idea for this build. And then the wedding venue aspect kind of came in when I thought about what I was going to do with that space in the back, so the extra platform space that I had. So I figured, you know, why not put in a little wedding arch so you could have a nice little outdoor wedding. It's a little bit more formal than the wedding space that I have in my dance hall build. So if you guys haven't had a look at any of the builds in the pack yet or anything like that, in my dance hall build, I actually have a little wedding arch right in the front of that build, kind of like under a tree. It's very casual. It's definitely more for like a casual, you know, casual event, casual wedding. Whereas this one is definitely a little bit more fancy, you know, it's still outdoors because why not? The views from this lot are absolutely gorgeous, so why not? But especially if you, like, especially the back of the build in like evening time, so like sunset, around sunset, it is absolutely freaking stunning. Like, absolutely stunning. I don't know if it's sunset or dawn though. Now that I think about it, the lighting for this lot kind of hits it very weirdly. So, you know, in the middle of the day, it kind of comes like right from above. But at like sunset and dawn, it hits like the front and the back of the build. I just can't remember which side like gets hit by the light at which point, if that makes sense. But either way, the views are absolutely stunning. So I put in a little wedding arch outside. There's obviously a couple of tables, all of that stuff. There's a bunch of bars and gathering spaces all around. And then on the second floor of this build, I actually put in a little bit more of a almost dedicated like reception area. So we have a big bar up there. We have a dance floor, a stereo, you know, some seating, all of that kind of stuff. There's also a couple of bathrooms upstairs. But yeah, that was kind of my idea for like the upstairs. It would be a little bit more of a like event space, I guess you could say. And then on the first floor, right as you walk in, I'm going to have this really big like reception desk slash tasting bar, if that makes sense. You'll see it when I get to it. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. But yeah, so that is kind of what I have on the first floor. I have that big reception tasting kind of like main space, where we also have those nectar making stations off to the side in that separate little room. So I really like that. I liked using those like big arch barn doors. Like, they're technically archways because they don't close, so they are like totally open the whole time. But I like the way that they look like they could close, obviously. So I have those, and then next to them I put a couple of windows to kind of make it look like a more rustic version of a wall of glass, if that makes sense. So in my head, you know, Sims could be in there. They could be like tasting nectar or whatever, and then other Sims could be in that separate room making some more, and you could kind of like watch them from this main space. So yeah, we've started working on that little like main reception area. So in my head, the bar right at the front closest to the door wouldn't be a bar, it would be a reception desk. So obviously I was only working with the base game and the new pack, so I didn't have reception desks. But if I had like Get to Work, for example, that has a couple of reception desks, I would have put one of those in. But I like the way it looked. I like the symmetry of it. And then on the back bar, I do have like bar stools wrapping all the way around. Like, that's a little bit more of like the, I guess, commercial tasting space. And then obviously upstairs we have the more like, I guess, you know, reception party space. And then downstairs in the basement we have this little cellar. So basically this room is kind of just decorative. I mean, I do put a bunch of nectar racks in here at the end, so I do get rid of those big barrels in the middle and I replace them with nectar racks, so your Sims can age nectar on those, and they will actually age faster if they're in a basement. So in The Sims 4, nectar, if you have it like in these racks, obviously they will age. But if you have them in a basement, they actually age faster, which is actually, it's kind of a nice little touch that they added. So I have a bunch of those down there. I also eventually put down a couple of bar stools in there to make it look like, you know, people have been sitting around, maybe tasting some things, all of that stuff. And I do also put in a kitchen. This is what we're working on right now. I put in a little kitchen space just so that if you do have a wedding here and you need to make a cake or make food or whatever, then there is space to do that. Because usually when I play with weddings and when I have my Sims throw weddings on a community lot, 9 times out of 10 I will forget to make a wedding cake. It's just a known fact. It is something that always happens to me, even after wedding stories. Like with my wedding stories, I kind of make a little bit more of an effort to make sure that they have a cake with them, because the cakes that came with that pack are like really gorgeous, and I love choosing out, like picking out one for my Sims. But a lot of the times I will forget to do that, and they will need to make a cake when they get to the venue. Or obviously, you know, you can hire a caterer for weddings and stuff like that, so they need space to make food. So I have a little kitchen down there. We have a couple more bathrooms as well. And then in the basement, I kind of put another bar. I put a bar back, and then I also put some seating, eventually some tables. But that's also where I put more of like the loungy type stuff. So I put a piano down there, a microphone, a guitar. So in my head, you know, this build would be split up into like almost 3 separate spaces. So we have the main space where it's more of like the commercial space. So you'd go here, you'd buy nectar, you'd maybe like have tastings, stuff like that. But yeah, oh yeah, before I forget, before I completely get off track again, those barrels that I place upstairs in like the main space, and I have those bar stools like angled around them, those are actually just like side tables. Basically, they're in the table category, like side table category. So they're not dining tables, but I love the way that they looked with those bar stools, just because that looks so much like things that I have seen around where I live. I live quite near to a lot of really big wine estates and wineries and stuff like that. So I've seen stuff like that a lot, where they will have these big wine casks and you will literally just sit around it on bar stools, and it acts kind of like as a high bar height table. So obviously in the game it doesn't work like that, and because I was only working with the base game and the new pack, I didn't have any bar height tables, but I wanted to use like those high tables, like those, I wanted it to have that look. So I actually used that trick with like having the end tables, I guess you could say, and then just putting bar stools around it in a couple of different places, and I really like the way it turned out. I mean, it's not the most functional thing ever. I mean, your Sims can still sit in quite a few of those bar stools, but some of them are obstructed. But honestly, there is so much seating in this build. There's so much other seating. I don't think you'll miss those couple of ones. But yeah, like I was saying, before I got completely distracted, in my head, this build it is kind of split into 3 different spaces. So we have the main space on the first floor, where you'd maybe have like nectar tastings, and you'd watch them make the nectar. Maybe it's like a super like well-known place, so you can actually get like a behind the scenes look at how they make it. And then outside, obviously, we have, you know, some more casual space with, you know, all of the like crops and everything like that. We also have the little wedding like ceremony space outside. Then upstairs on the second floor, we have like the event space where you'd have your receptions, you know, stuff like that, maybe birthday parties or whatever. It's a little bit more private, you know, it's a little bit more separate from everyone else. So you'd maybe like, I don't know, maybe you would hire out or like rent out this space for a reception or for a party, or, you know, something like that. And then in the basement, in the cellar space, we have obviously the cellar where you would, you know, maybe like, again, get a little behind the scenes look at where they store the nectar, where they age it, you know, all of that stuff. Maybe learn more about the process of what goes into that. And then you have this lounge space, which in my head would maybe actually be a lounge. So maybe it's something that they only open it up at night, you know, maybe the upstairs and like the main space and event space is more for like, you know, during the day, if you have like daytime gatherings or, you know, the regular business of the winery. And then in the basement you have, you know, kind of this lounge that's maybe it's a little bit more of a private lounge as well, where they only open up at night, and or maybe it's only a couple of nights a week or only the weekends or something like that. So it's a little bit more private. It's not huge. Maybe they have a very select clientele, maybe like only the richest Sims can get into that space. Like it's a very private, fancy, you know, like not secluded, but like selective club that you can't, like, not everyone can get into it, or something like that. But yeah, that's kind of just the idea that I had in my head. Now you will notice that I did have to cut out quite a few things. That is just because it ended up being a lot longer than I wanted it to be, and I have done a couple of really long videos so far, so I needed this one to be a little bit shorter. So you guys probably didn't notice, but I did change around. One of the biggest changes that I made was I changed out the staircase layout to the cellar, like, completely. The configuration that I had for the stairs just was not working for some weird reason. It wasn't functioning. So it took me like 45 minutes of playtesting just to figure that out and fix it. But I did playtest this whole build. Everything works. Your Sims can get everywhere. Everything functions. There's no like weird routing issues or anything like that. And actually, I'm kind of happy that happened, because the way that I have the staircase now, I actually like a lot more. So I don't think you guys will see it super well in this speed build, because it is rather quick. So in the tour at the end, you probably will see it a little bit better. I have already recorded the tour. I recorded the tour for all of these speed builds ahead of me actually editing them and doing these voiceovers. So yeah, if I sound a little bit different, or if I talk about stuff twice, or forget what I said in the tour or anything like that, then please forgive me. I'm recording these videos a little bit out of order compared to how I normally do. But yeah, so something else I really wanted to mention quickly is that I am actually holding a giveaway for a code for this pack over on Twitter. I will have a link to that in the description below, also in the pinned comment. It's running until Monday at 10 AM Pacific time, so Monday the 24th. It's over on Twitter. All you have to do is like the tweet, retweet it, and I think also leave like a comment with something in it. But all of that information is in the tweet. Definitely go ahead, check that out. It's for one code for this pack, the Horse Ranch pack, and it's for any platform. So for PC, Mac, or console, doesn't matter. If you're the winner, I will contact you over on Twitter, and you can tell me, I play on console or I play on PC, and I will get that code for you. So yeah, definitely go ahead, check that out. But let me know what you guys think about this build and all of that stuff, and keep an eye on the playlist as well that I will leave linked, where I put all of my Horse Ranch videos. But with that said, we're gonna jump into the tour. Okay, so here we are with our finished build. I believe I'm going to be calling it the Chestnut Winery and Wedding Venue or something like that. But yeah, here we are with our little winery, which I absolutely love the way this build turned out. I'm not gonna lie, this was the last build that I did with this early access that I have with, my name floating around the screen. And it might actually be my favorite build out of this whole thing. Like, it might actually be my favorite build that I've done, as well as the big ranch home that I did on the 64x64 lot, or maybe the training grounds that I also did. But yeah, I don't know in which order I'm posting these videos, so if I haven't posted all of those yet, then surprise, now you know what's coming up. But yeah, so this is the front of the build. Now, I did take inspiration, like I probably already mentioned in the voiceover, from the original build that was on this lot, on this like almost terraced, wine, I don't know what vibe it's giving me, but there used to be a really nice house on this lot that Dr. Ashley actually built, and I did take inspiration from that with the platforms that I ended up using, and even the way that I did the backyard with having these multiple different tiers of platforms. I did take inspiration from her build, which shout out to her. I will have all of the builders links down below that actually built for this pack, because obviously I built 3 of the lots, but Dr. Ashley, Simproved, and Ninster also built 3 lots each for this pack, like the official builds for the pack. So I will leave all of their links below. But yeah, so this is the front of the build, and I really like the way it turned out. I wanted it to have this very, like, almost converted, like, very updated look to it. Like, it's not super modern, but I wanted it to have this very converted, updated look. So maybe it used to be older, but they've completely gutted the place, and I don't know, maybe like added this little like extension bit to it, maybe added the basement or the cellar and all of that kind of stuff. So I really like the way that turned out. But yeah, so we just in the front have our, obviously our little like platform entryway area with some benches, you know, a little sign. You can look through here to like those gorgeous like art pieces on the wall that actually leads into the basement, but we'll get there. Now the backyard, the lighting on this lot is a little bit weird, so I'm just gonna change it. But yeah, the backyard is absolutely gorgeous. I love this view. This is probably going to be the thumbnail view as well. But yeah, out here in the back we have a little like, you know, gateway area where you can go into the vineyard, kind of like small vineyard, where I have some debug grape bushes, but I also have some actual grapevine plants that your Sims can harvest. So I have that. You can go up, you know, obviously on this little like seating space with the little fire pit area. I have all of these like, basically they're like just decorative, kind of like end tables basically, and I have a lot of them placed around on the inside as well. I have them acting almost as bar height tables, because in the base game and in this pack, which is obviously all that I have access to when I'm doing these builds, I don't have access to any like bar height tables. So yeah, I really like this look, because this is something that I've seen a lot where I live. I live around a bunch of wine estates and stuff like that, where they will have these like barrels and like, or like casks or whatever, acting as tables, and they'll have like bar stools and stuff around them. So I wanted to make it look like that. Obviously, you know, this isn't like functional as a table, but I did it for aesthetic purposes. And your Sims can still sit in a bunch of these like bar chairs, even though they won't technically be like at a table. They can still sit in the chairs, so that's fine. But yeah, outside we also have a little like wedding venue space, like a little arch for, you know, wedding ceremonies, all of that stuff. That's something that I really wanted to add, because there's nowhere in this world where you can get married. So I really wanted to make this a like functional space. I do have a wedding arch on my dance hall lot that I built for the pack itself, but that is a lot more casual. And I figured this one would be a little bit more upscale, a little bit more expensive. You know, maybe you would rent out this space and, you know, it would be a little bit more expensive. It wouldn't just be like a casual family, like close friends and family wedding at the local dance hall, if that makes sense. So yeah, we have that little space. We also have another down, like a little bit more down space where I have some more bushes. I have blackberry bushes and strawberries, because your Sims can use all of them to make nectar, so that is a good thing to have. And then we just have some more seating out here. I figured, you know, a lot of this stuff, a lot of these spaces would be for like wedding receptions and stuff like that. Also like wine tastings and parties and, you know, everything like that. So going back to the front and actually going inside, if you go in, you have this big like, I guess, entry. In my head, this would be like the reception area. So this would be where, you know, you would maybe come and check in if you have like an event scheduled, or, you know, something like that. You would come and you would check in here. And then you have this big bar around the back as well. So I really like this. I don't know how this is going to function in game, because obviously lots only spawn like one bartender at a time, unless you like actively go in and hire another one. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. There's a bunch of bars on this lot, because I don't have it set up as anything at the moment. But it does fulfill all of the requirements for the bar lot. It also fulfills all of the requirements for a lounge. So you can have it function as either of those, and it'd be totally fine. So yeah, on the first floor, like as you enter, we have this huge bar space and a bunch more of those like fake table seating areas. Now I am noticing that when I load it into this lot again to come and do the tour, those wine glasses that I placed around everywhere as decoration from debug did disappear. So if I upload this build to the gallery, which I probably will try and do, hopefully I can, then they will probably be gone as well. the wine bottles are still here, but the glasses are gone. So yeah, apologies for that. That's just the game. But yeah, so on the first floor, we also have the actual nectar making space. So we have 3 of these nectar machines, and we have obviously a bunch of these like nectar racks all over the place. I have some aprons over there as well, because I figured, you know, maybe when they're making nectar, you know, they put on a little apron, you know, all of that stuff. A couple of little small benches, and that is basically the whole first floor. Now let's go upstairs first, because upstairs we have a little like kind of landing space that leads you into one of the bathrooms that we have upstairs. Just, you know, sink, toilet, very standard bathroom. But we have these big sliding doors that lead you into kind of the, I guess, more formal reception space for stuff like weddings. So we have a dance, like I almost said dance table, a dance floor. We have a little dance floor. We have another bar, but this one is obviously a lot bigger than the ones downstairs. We have a fireplace, some more of those nectar racks. Obviously we have a stereo as well, so that your Sims can play music that they can dance to. But yeah, then you have a little bit of like seating space for them to just relax. Another bathroom as well off of this like entertainment space. And then we also have a little balcony out the back that obviously is beneath those like awnings that I put in with a couple of, you know, I almost said umbrellas. Those are not umbrellas. They're ceiling fans. Apologies, I'm recording this really late and my brain is all over the place. But yeah, so that is the upstairs. Very nice, very simple. I try to keep it as simple and open as possible to make sure that Sims can like root everywhere. And I did playtest this build, so yeah, everything works as well. But yeah, going back downstairs, we actually have this like little multi-level entryway to the basement. So in my head, you know, maybe this is one space where they have maybe like wine tastings or whatever, and then upstairs we have the, I guess, formal reception space. So you would rent out this space if you have like a wedding here. And then downstairs we have a whole other setup. So we have another little like chalkboard over here. Maybe this is, you know, advertising something else. And then you go downstairs. I have all of obviously these double staircases set up, and we have a piano right as you come in with another chalkboard. This is where I have all of those lounge items like the piano, a guitar, a microphone, all of that stuff. We have another couple of tables, and then another big bar with a bar back that came with a pack, more storage and stuff. We have 2 more bathrooms as well down here, and a kitchen, so that if you do have weddings here, then your Sims can make a cake and all of that stuff if they forget to do that, like at their home lot, so they can do that. And then we down here also have the storage, like the cellar, like the nectar cellar. So we have all of these like storage racks. We have obviously all of these casks all around the walls and everything like that. And I am noticing that the game did delete some of my storage racks, because I did have more of these like stacked like that. So I don't know why it deleted those. Probably because I loaded up this lot without having move objects on. So that could be the culprit. But yeah, I had them stacked like that, if it ends up deleting it again, if you guys download it. But that is basically the entire build, you guys. Like, there's a lot going on in this build. I mean, like I said, I don't know, like, obviously the game will only spawn one bartender, and I don't know which of the bars they're going to go to. But there's quite a few different options. But yeah, I hope you guys like how this build turned out. If you guys do like the way this build turned out, give the video a like. If you're new to the channel and you'd like to see some more Sims content, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload a new video. But yeah, if you have any more suggestions or ideas or anything like that you would like to see, you know, see me do with this pack once I have it in my normal game and I have access to all of my other packs as well, then definitely let me know, because all of these early access videos that I've already posted, they have all been with only the base game and the new pack. So once I have it in my regular game, let me know what you guys would like to see. If you have any suggestions or ideas or anything like that, let me know down in the comments. And like I said, I don't know in what order I'm posting these videos in at all. So I will have a playlist linked in the description and on the screen as well, with all of my videos that I've done or that I am doing for the Horse Ranch expansion pack. So definitely go ahead, check that out if you want to see more videos from me. I've done a world overview, I've done a bunch of speed builds, and then obviously I also have builds and videos up for the 3 builds that I actually did for the pack. So like the 3 official builds that I did that shipped with the pack. So yeah, definitely go ahead, check all of that out. But yeah, with all of that said, hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I have all of my links as well in the description, social links, gallery links, all of that stuff. Hope you're all having a great day, and I will talk to you all in my very next video. Bye everyone.